All right. Have you ever tried eating soup with a fork? How about steak with a spoon? It's not so easy, is it? Well, up until 1874, these were real-life issues that normal people had to deal with. Since then, the spork has evolved into a very convenient tool that is used every day all around the world. Today, we'll dish out all the details about the famous spork. First, we'll take a stab at what the spork really is. Next, we'll scoop into the history of the spork. And finally, we'll cut into why the spork is beneficial to society. So let's start with what the spork really is. According to the Merriam-Webster, the spork is a multi-purpose eating utensil that combines the bowl of a spoon with the tines of a fork. The spork is very convenient and can be used for a wide variety of foods. Take nachos, for example. They start off as a finger food, but what about all the extra leftovers, meat, and toppings that are at the end? You wouldn't want to use your fingers for that. That's where the spork comes in. You can use the fork part to pick up the meat, and the spoon part to pick up the tomatoes or the pile of refried beans that are stuck to the container. Next, we will look at different types of foods that pair great with the spork. Think of foods like chili. You can also do certain soups, coleslaw, the famous KFC popcorn chicken bowl, and much, much more. Never again will you have to worry about whether to use a fork or a spoon. The spork will always save the day. As we dine in on the next topic, we'll look at the history of the spork. According to HowStuffWorks.com, in 1874, Samuel W. Francis got a U.S. patent for the first version of the odd-looking utensil. Through the years, people took this design and they tweaked it to make it more beneficial for the user. Things like a deeper bowl, sharper tines, and the material it was made out of were all things being taken into consideration when upgrading the product. However, in 1970, the Van Brode Milling Company got the first official patent for the spork. Soon after, KFC decided that they loved the design so much, they were the first restaurant to use it and offer it with all their meals. After the spork made an appearance in the US, the Van Brode Milling Company abandoned the patent, and a UK-based company called Plastico Limited obtained the trademark. This soon created a global sensation for the spork, and you can now find the perfect piece of plastic in almost all your to-go bags. As we dip into the final topic, we'll take a look at why the spork is beneficial to society. Whether you are a fan of the spork or not, you have probably encountered one at some point in your life. The spork is very, very convenient. It is also one of the most advanced pieces of cutlery, and it's good for the environment. Who doesn't love that? First, let's talk about waste. According to Iowa State Daily, since the upbringing of sporks, plastic waste has been cut down significantly. Think about life before sporks. You would go through a Taco Bell drive-thru to pick up a quick lunch in between classes. You would get a little plastic baggie that contained 3 utensils: a fork, spoon, knife, and sometimes a napkin. Now you can get that same baggie with just a spork and a napkin. Think about 2 out of 4 plastic items are now not in that bag that were previously in there before, thus creating less plastic being thrown out into the environment. Not only is a spork very good for the environment, it is also very convenient. For example, if you are a camper, it is very easy to toss a titanium spork into your bag and use it for all of your meals. And let's be honest, you probably forget things more than you'd like to admit. The spork takes off a drastic amount of stress when you're packing for a road trip or an adventure. Instead of having to worry about packing 3 utensils, a fork, spoon, and knife, you can throw 1 spork while still maintaining the luxury of a 3 multi-purpose utensil. As we end our Dine and Dash today, we'll recap what we went over. First, we took a stab at what the spork really is. Next, we scooped into the history of the spork. And finally, we cut into why the spork is beneficial for society. I'm sure none of you guys have thought this deep about the spork. I know for me, this speech definitely made me appreciate the plastic piece of cutlery just a little bit more. And if you haven't used a spork before, I highly encourage you to go out and buy one. Whether it's a plastic bag of them or a durable titanium one, the spork is good not only for your meals, but for the environment as well.